8 wickets for Nathan Lyon. India all out for 163. Pujara hitting a gritty 50, but that's about it. Superb fielding from Australia, 2 good catches that changed the tide. So Australia needs 76 to ensure they become the first team to reach the World Test Championship final officially.
Right.
They are already there, I think.
Yep.
Tell me, when the day started, we were all asked to predict as to would Australia come out to bat or in lunchtime.
Yeah.
Should Australia come out to bat again? And what did we all say?
I said no.
I said yes.
I also said no.
Yeah.
But
By the barest of margins.
Barest of margins.
Skin of everyone's teeth, really.
Yes. They could have very well come out to bat. But anyway, it was just a 5-minute thing here and there.
Yeah.
That last wicket had to go at 16:4:49. And
Then Australia would have come out. Yep.
Okay, so we'll get into the details later, but I want to understand where does the match stand, guys? Any hope?
See, Australia will lose wickets, but I think it's too small a target to create pressure on them.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think especially considering the fact that their best batsman in this series has been Khwaja.
Unless
Their top order.
Unless there is a Cape Town-like cataclysmic collapse.
No, we gave the example of the 2004 Mumbai Test match, similar to this, and the target there was 100.
106, yeah.
Yeah.
But the psychological 93, 13 runs.
75.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the psychological grip of chasing a 3-figure mark in the 4th innings plays a bigger role than a 2-digit.
Yeah, but difference is 18 runs. I mean, you'll have to get them out for 18 runs less.
Yes.
Then you got them for 93, or you want to get them for
76.
75.
35.
Yeah.
Actually, 75 would be a tight test.
Tightest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
74.
mean, so whatever I'm saying, so not too far off, but I kind of agree with what all of us have been saying, or what Siddharth's also saying, that I don't think that even in your best days, and even in Australia's worst day,
Are they not
75
chasing
would
this?
be a...
Although I did a video on Sports Today, you can check that out, on the collapses. Okay, the worst collapse Australia have had in this entire series is 28 for 8 in Delhi. That was the worst collapse that you could have had. 6 for 11, 5 for 15.
But you have to look at the entire innings. How many did they get?
28 for 8. How many did they get prior to that? They would have gotten at least 80 runs.
Yes, they got 52.
Exactly.
28 for 8 and then they reached 113.
We can't cherry pick as just look at that particular phase of play. You'll
Yeah.
have to take a look at the entire inning.
Exactly.
And there has been no innings so far in this entire series where they've been bundled out for 75 or less.
Correct.
Yes.
So
Australia did come close in Nagpur, but they reached 91 even there.
that's what I'm saying. This is too small. I mean, those 25-30 runs could have made the difference. Where even then Australia would have been favourite, but you would have still said like, okay, some outside chance. But here at 75, they have to. It has to be like an outstanding day for Indian bowlers and an awful time for all the Australian batsmen, which I don't know if that's ever.
Also, wait. Day 4, start of day 4, batting team gets the roller.
Where was day 4?
Sorry, day 3.
No, it's understandable. You're batting as if it's on a day 4, day 5
No, this
wicket.
is day 5. Yesterday was.
There has been no day 4 in this entire series.
Sorry, I meant
nor
day
will
3.
there be a
Day
day
3.
For a hat trick, again a 2.5 day test.
Quite likely, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you expect Australia to take 3 sessions to chase on.
No, one session.
1.5.
Yeah.
1.
There we go.
You think 1?
Yeah.
Can also.
Yeah, because again, as I said, they'll get the light roller.
Because see, if they get say 60 by lunch, because if you're even 16 runs away, they will extend the lunch session.
Correct.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
And I think, it'll be first session or at... they
At
might
best
extend
session
it.
and
Yeah. Or at best, like, worst case scenario is like maybe the first half hour of the second session.
So then
Either
we're
ways.
getting there. 7.5 days. We're reaching 10 tests, 10 days, 4 test matches. It's on the cards.
Now let's start with a few mistakes that India have made and let's break down the game. One thing I cannot understand, and that's not taking anything away from Australia, and I think we'll get to Nathan Lyon also a little later. My point is, who's been India's best batsman in the series so far?
Akshar Patel.
Correct.
Akshar Patel.
Yeah, and Rohit Sharma.
No, overall now Akshar
Overall,
Patel.
Akshar Patel.
Overall, Akshar.
Yeah.
So your best batsman batting number 9. Just the other day, after the first innings, where Akshar Patel remained not out, we had a discussion, and there was an on-air, that was off-air. Remember, I was looking at
Yes.
the scorecard and I asked you to help me out and find a way. How is it that the Indian team can look to bat Akshar Patel a bit higher up the order? That was our discussion, and at best we agreed on 6 and 7. Though I would have wanted him slightly earlier, even ahead of Jadeja.
5.
Yeah, but anyway, still I think we all agreed on 6 and 7. But instead of actually pushing him higher up, you went the other way, and I know Ashwin is eternal favorite of Siddharth, and he's no mug with the bat, and I like his gritty nature, and he always fights for getting those runs, never gives up very easily. With his limited ability also with the bat, he always punches above his weight. All of that, yes, but clearly Akshar Patel, and I'm not saying look at the runs just by the naked eye, just the way he's been playing the spinners, or for that matter even fast bowlers, how he played Mitchell Stark now.
Yeah.
He's looked the most assured, most comfortable. And why this will be important now is because what were we talking? We're saying that 75 maybe 25 too less to put fear in Australia's mind.
Correct.
I'm not saying that 100 also India would have won. Maybe Australia did. But you want to give yourself a fighting chance. And that fighting chance may have come with another 25 more runs. And you can get those 25 more runs if you utilize your best batsman of the series so far, which has been Akshar Patel. You made that blunder in the first innings. He was not out. First innings also. Remained not out. I remember even before that, he got dismissed, I think, first test match. Also, he was the last one to fall.
Yeah.
Simply because he was batting with Siraj or whatever. And he was like, Siraj going to be out sooner or later. Let me just attack, and he got out. He would have been not out there as well.
Yep.
So I am saying here's a guy who Australia have found almost next to impossible to dismiss. And you are pushing him down. I mean, find a way to bat him higher up. And even if I'm saying it's not making a big difference, or people might point out that, hey, he's not going to get you 100 here. Sure, he won't. But even if he got 15 more runs, which would be 25 for the team, because there'll be runs that will come from the other end, or he gets 20, 30 more runs, that's 40, 50 runs more for the team. And on a pitch like that, add 50 runs to India's total, and boy, you've got a game on your hand.
Exactly.
So I can't understand. You have any logic to explain why this is happening?
Yeah, I mean, why can't they take the punt, and rather than in this innings, they should have swapped Jadeja coming down, Akshar.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking they would do, because Akshar has looked your best batsman throughout the series.
Exactly.
In fact, if we were checking his numbers, he's, thanks to his not outs and everything, he's averaging 92. That is freakish.
And that too, the innings where he was dismissed, he was trying to up the ante. Even here,
Exactly.
see, had Siraj just hung with him, he showed his intent by hitting Nathan Lyon for a 6.
Yeah, correct.
Couple of more blows in the next 2-3 overs, say by the end of the day, you could have been 90 for 9. Australia frustrated, they would have leaked a few 10-15 runs.
And then
more.
don't forget, frustrated doubly so, because then you'd have to come back tomorrow morning to try and get one wicket.
Exactly.
And if he keeps showing stubborn resistance, they will get more frustrated.
So few players I'm going to name which will be no debate at all in terms of the batting order, that he should be batting higher.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly he should bat higher than Ashwin.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, that's not a reflection of Ashwin. As I said, Ashwin always punches above his weight.
Yeah.
A great trier at that. But I'm saying right now you're talking about a batsman who's looking at ease in these conditions, and that's a rare commodity between both the teams. So he should be batting higher up than Ashwin. He should definitely be batting higher up than KS Bharat.
Yes.
So those are 2 spots. So he was 9. So that takes him to 8. Takes him to 7.
7.
I would also say that maybe under the circumstances, again not taking anything away from Ravindra Jadeja, he was outstanding in that first test match as well. But now that you've seen, and there was no issue that you started with Jadeja higher up or even an Ashwin higher up because of the pedigree that they had earlier. But now that you've seen, sir, you have had 2 test matches in the 3rd test match, and you had 1 inning of the 3rd test match also. After that, there's no harm in making changes. Yeah, push, let him be the guy batting higher up compared to even Ravindra Jadeja.
Yep.
And these, see, again, in a test match like this, where you're trying to get the slightest of advantage, that slightest of advantage, can can turn the game around, and you're looking at just 10, 20, 30, little bit here and there. Umesh Yadav, a couple of sixes you're thinking can change. So you're playing with very small numbers in terms of runs.
Yes.
So I think that's a major factor. If that makes 30, 40 runs difference to your total, the game changes. Imagine 30, 40 in both innings he was not out.
Yep.
That's about 80 runs.
That
Changes the complexion of the game.
Totally.
I can't understand.
No, the problem is Aksar batting at 9. He has no support also.
Yeah.
That support factor goes away. And what about the depth? The problem is the tail end of the depth. 10 and 11. Umesh is hit or miss. Siraj can be irresponsible. So where?
They are both proper tail enders.
Tail enders.
Correct.
Proper tail enders. Whatever you get out of Umesh is a bonus. We all get excited with those sixes, fine. And I have no issues with him getting out also trying to hit a six. I mean, that's a bonus. He's better suited.
If it came off, we'd be praising him.
No, he's better off doing that than trying to survive because he'll get out anyway.
Exactly.
And might as well attempt 2. Maybe he gets 2. That's 12 runs. That makes a difference. So no issue. Siraj again, no issue. I still felt that maybe he could have been a bit more responsible at that time.
Yeah.
But still, I'm not. He's never been that sort of a batsman. So fair enough. But Akshar Patel stranded at the other end twice in a row now, unpardonable in a low-scoring game like this.
Yeah, but the margins are so fine. Even 10, 15 more runs is adding so much more. But
Yeah.
Yep.
There is a question there.
Sarab Nagpal.
What is he saying?
Can someone explain why our best batter is always supposed to bat with the tail? Why can't he be sent up the order, the only one not dismissed?
exactly.
Nothing more to add.
Twice now, Sarab. Twice not dismissed. Could well have been 3 times in the 5 innings that India has played that he would have not been dismissed. As I said, that first test, if I'm not mistaken, my memory serves me correct, I think he was trying to go for a Hoik because...
And got bowled.
Because he knew. And I can't blame him. Look at the way Siraj got out.
And again, when he tried to push the scoring in Delhi, he got out to a good catch by Cummins.
So he's clearly been... And as I said, it's not just the run, it's just look at with him with naked eye, Anyway, that's where India is. Guys, Nathan Lyon, huh?
Gary.
Nice, Gary.
I think my WhatsApp status or whatever should be nice Gary.
Nice Gary. Yeah,
Nice Gary.
who would have thought someone would overhaul Anil Kumble's tally of wickets against Australia? He's now got the most wickets.
I got a lot of abuse after the first test match.
Yes.
I'll tell you why. Because I think we were discussing and I was asked to pick between Ashwin and Nathan Lyon. Who's a better spinner? And to which I had said that in these conditions, Indian conditions where turn is there or bounce or uneven condition, then I'm going with Ashwin any day because he knows how to exploit these conditions better than Nathan Lyon.
True.
But if it's a true batting wicket or a true pitch, then I'm going with Nathan Lyon simply because he's that old school off spinner who relies on a bit of bounce. He'll give a bit of flight. He'll be a natural sort of an off spinner who, if it's like flatter condition, he'll do better. Anyway, and then Ashwin had an outstanding first 2 test match, and I got so much abuse saying you put Gary. So I said if you combine the condition, then I may give Gary a slight edge. Got a lot of abuse that you're Ashwin hater or you're this and how could you do it. That's why I say sometimes you got to be a bit patient and look back. And so, what is the series score right now in terms of wickets taken between
Ashwin
and Nathan Lyon?
Yeah, we have to check that.
Overall,
I think it should be most wickets. Ashwin, I think, still lead. No, Ravindra Jadeja 21. Nathan Lyon has surpassed Ashwin. He had 11. Now he's gone to 19.
Okay. And fair point to Ashwin. He still has an innings to bowl.
Yeah.
So Nathan Lyon's got that extra. Though actually, if you look at the innings, it's the same. Because Nathan Lyon bowled only once in Nagpur.
Nagpur, yeah.
So in terms of innings, it'll be the same.
Yes.
But still, okay, just so that test match, let it be over. So there'll be a fair comparison. I'm saying that he's ahead. And for all you know, Ashwin also finishes ahead. But that's the point you're making. That in these conditions, of course, Ashwin will be better than Nathan Lyon. But the fact that he's competing, and right now even better, just tells you... Flatter conditions, I think he will be more lethal.
He will be. And I've rated Gary much higher than Ashwin because even outside of the subcontinent, he's had great success.
Yeah, and most of his wickets, in fact, would have come in Australia.
Yeah.
Not exactly
About
Sydney
half
aside.
of them. 238 wickets have come in Australia.
Exactly. Sydney aside, name one spin-friendly condition in Australia. None.
That too, he was the groundsman there. Na? So
In Adelaide, he was the ground.
He was grounded in Adelaide.
He was Adelaide.
He then moved to Sydney.
Oh, he might as well because
Yeah.
there's one ground which will help spinners.
Sydney.
But again, he's had success in Brisbane because of the bounce factor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then Sydney, yes. Adelaide, because of the ping ball. He's getting more help in the ping ball rather than Sydney. Then you will look at it. Melbourne got a good record there as well.
So quick records that he's made. I think he's gone past Anil Kumble.
Yes.
113 Anil Kumble. He's gone past that.
111 Kumble had.
So 111. Now he's on 113. So gone past most wickets in this series. I think he's the only one to have taken 7 wickets in an inning against India ever. 3 times.
3 times, yes.
So only bowler to take 7 wickets in an innings versus India thrice. Imagine only bowler. I'm saying history of Test cricket.
Or you're saying 8 wickets, na? He got 8 wickets.
Yeah, I'm saying
7 or more, yeah.
No Murli, no Warnies.
Nothing. 3 times.
Nathan Lyon.
Yeah.
7 or more.
Murli, I think, got only once a 7 wicket haul. That's it. Vaughan never took a 7 wicket haul against
Exactly.
India.
Imagine, I mean,
And in fact, in his entire career, second on list of most wickets against India. Yep.
There we go.
Oof.
more than 7 wickets also that he's got. I
Yeah.
mean, he's legend level.
Yeah.
Gary is legend. And I think he's also gone past 50 wickets in India.
Yes. He has.
50 wickets in India also.
And remember, Shane Warne and all the other spinners prior to Gary always struggled in India.
Exactly.
Always. But that's what the success of Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins in any condition. Everybody does not acknowledge Gary's contributions. He drives the runs up at the other
Let
end.
me ask you a
Correct.
question that you talk about that he's been far more effective than any other spinner or even some legends like Murli and Vaughan also. Now, and Nathan Lyon's number. I want to know, is it because Nathan Lyon, you rate him higher than a Vaughan and Murli in Indian conditions? I'm only talking about Indian conditions. Or do you think that the batsmen that Vaughan and Murli were bowling to were better equipped to handle spin than the batsmen that are now? Or the conditions in those times were quite batting friendly and now they aren't, and it's really assisting the spinners? So that's benefited Nathan Lyon.
I will go with your second point. The second point
But
where
conditions, what about the third point, conditions? You think
They were-
even when Shane Warne came, when Muthiah Muralidharan came, were you poor pitches like this?
no.
Then, that's also gone in Nathan Lyon's favor.
No, but then if you look at it in 2017, he encountered rather flat pitches. Even in 2013.
In Ranchi, yes.
Ranchi, yes. Dharamshala also. Then
Dharamshala
also
was even, yeah.
But
Then-
Dharamshala would be the kind of pitch that would work to his strength.
Yeah.
Bangalore. Bangalore was an up and down, but not a demon. Bowler, pace bowlers had a say in that.
Okay.
Even
So pitch you're saying is not the...
no.
No. Okay, so
Bec-
then you think...
Second point, Vaughan and Muralidharan encountered batsmen in India who played them much better.
Navjot Sidhu,
Sachin Tendulkar,
Sachin Tendulkar,
BVS,
VVS Lakshman,
Rahul Dravid, Saurav Ganguly.
Ganguly would
Ganguly.
dance down to every
Yeah.
spinner.
Yeah.
I mean, Muralidharan never had success against Ganguly that much. Vaughan had a little bit of success, but he never managed to get the better of Tendulkar.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, batsman, of course, it matters, but also I think conditions partly. Vaughan was another one who relied an awful lot on revs on the ball. In fact, he had an insane amount of revs on the
and
ball.
consider Vaughan's bad luck. On the one ranked turner that he got in 2004, he was injured. He didn't play in Mumbai.
Yeah.
He didn't play. And look at 1998. Chennai,
Also, they'd won the series by then.
they had won the series. But Vaughan had that finger injury in Nagpur.
Nagpur, yeah.
And on top of that, in Chennai, that was the only spinning condition that was there in that first test in 1988. But it needed something spectacular from Sachin to counter that. Kolkata was a flat deck. Bangalore, guess who stole the show in that? A certain Gavin Robertson over Shane Warne. Gavin Robertson was his trial by fire was a 98 India series.
Right.
And also Vaughan's success was dimmed by a certain flying Sikh, Navjot Singh Sidhu.
He started the attack and then Sachin took it to another level.
Correct.
But I think, and everyone credits Sidhu, which is also right because he would open. So But actually, that toe game, Sachin took
Yeah.
him apart. I think that's when he sent.
That's
the
when his
message.
confidence kind of sunk.
No,
Yeah.
155.
204.
No, 150 they got a test match.
Test match, yeah.
204.
Yeah, it was his first ever first class double century.
100. Yeah.
And Vaughan was nil for 111 in 16
Yeah.
overs.
So I think that's where he sent a message out that listen, who's the boss? There's only one
Yep.
boss. Sachin
Ramesh Tendulkar.
Authority.
But that series I will remember for Sidhu, man.
Sidhu also.
If you wanted to tonk a spinner out, Sidhu dancing down a deck, heavy, high backlift.
He never let the ball spin, no?
Yeah.
But the only one who was cleaner than Sidhu in hitting was Ganguly.
Oh,
Ganguly, man.
Very clean.
He would murder left arm and off spin.
He was
Uh-huh.
clean.
I mean,
And he would lazily dance down the track. You see him dance on the track, you're like, he's not getting, and then boom, it's gone.
no, and looking at the backlift was so elegant, yet it would sail 100 meters or 90
Exactly.
meters.
He wouldn't have a high backlift. It was just clean timing and it's gone flying.
Yeah.
Okay, what is Sunando Basu saying?
Why is Devdutt Padikkal not gotten as an opener? A left-handed opener would help.
Has DDP been getting runs in domestic in that regard? No. In fact,
The only opener, if it's a left-hander, who do you want to get in is Yashasvi Jaiswal, who scored a double
scored
100
good runs.
just about 700 kilometers away in Gwalior.
Big match player.
to be fair, he did do well even for RR last year.
But I think that I don't think you're going to look at a backup opener because you're already trying
there.
to figure out who between KL and Shubman Gill is
Yes.
your regular opener. Of course, Rohit has really transformed since the time he started
Yeah.
opening.
you
He's
also
your
have
captain,
Abhimanyu
so-
Iswaran knocking on the door.
Yeah, correct. But I think you're not even going there.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
you're
need
not.
to solve
You're not.
this puzzle and be rest assured who's your opener going
If you have any hope for a new player coming in, it will be only after a WTC final.
No, also I don't think. See, again with Shubman, you're going to invest in him. Right?
Yes.
True. You're going to.
So you're not going to like just look at this series again. You will make him maybe plays the WTC final and a few other series. If he consistently has a poor run in Test cricket, that's when you look beyond him. But right now,
maybe
I think you've gone with him.
Pujara,
He'll play.
maybe after a WTC final, whether he plays.
We were all writing Pujara's obituary. What a knock he's played here today.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's ensured we have even a 0.0001% hope that Australia will collapse in 07. But yeah, this is the kind of application we wanted our top order to follow. This is that application. And Pujara, yes, in the era of baseball and everything, this is Test cricket, yeah.
But I'm just saying that Pujara really stepped up today. I think the problem has been, and I'm going to talk about all Indian batsmen, whether it's Rohit Sharma, whether it's Shubman Gill or earlier it was KL Rahul. There's Virat Kohli. I mean, you expect a lot. I completely agree that these are not great pitches. But I also would want some of my stars, or even Shreyas Iyer, who we all were rating very highly because he had a great run. I mean, come on. We just can't put everything down to the pitch, right? In a situation like this, as we gave you example of that 2004 Test match, not great. But the stalwart stood up, right? A Sachin Tendulkar got you a 50, a VVS Lakshman got you a 69.
Yes.
And then whatever, I think Dravid, Kef, whatever got 30, whatever contributed. My point is that even in this situation, in tough circumstances, what is a champion team? In tough circumstances, and why do you regard certain players as champions? Whether it's a Virat, whether it's a Rohit, and now Shreyas, who's been looked at as your best all-format player. You know, till very recently, he was. I'm saying then they need to step up. Yeah?
They have stepped up.
I mean, if fans are disappointed with them today, that it was in need of the hour, it's where Indian team is in the doldrums. Now, why do you rate a player very high, or you regard him as one of the greatest? It's on these occasions those players come and play absolutely blinded, like a Pujara played today. But as we discussed, Pujara could be the Lakshman.
Yes.
But you also needed a Sachin. And we're not saying that all of them have had to step up, but one between Rohit, Virat, Shreyas Iyer, even Shubman, who we were harping about, saying that he needs a chance, whatever. I think one of them needed to step up today and get to a half century. Things could have been very different.
What was different in our era, that was prior to the Dravid, Ganguly, Lakshman, Tendulkar era, that top order? Application in all conditions. Look at Dravid, just imagine in past 90s or 80s, post Gavaskar, green pitch, overcast condition, they would just not score. What did Dravid do in Headingley? Just buckled down, took blows on his body And look how he made it easy for likes of Tendulkar and Ganguly to do it. Lakshman, Mohali, look at Mohali with a bruised back on a turner, and even the pacers are also generating with the tail. Lakshman, fourth innings was a genius because when the conditions were tougher, he would step up every single time. That mindset. Where is that mindset?
That Fab 4 or Fab 5 that we had, you knew if two of them got out, you could bank on at least one of the other three. Yeah. Here, you know, if a Kohli and a Pujara are gone, that's your resistance pretty much broken.
Sustained pressure, even in sustained pressure, they're wilting. Yeah. Look at what happened to Kohli. I mean, one lapse in judgment.
That one bad shot, cross bat.
But again, if you want a predecessor, 12 years ago, when the ball was just going all over the place in Newlands, what did Sachin Tendulkar do? Dale Steyn just played him out. The greatest spell, the contest that we had in that era, Steyn versus Tendulkar. Steyn at his absolute beast mode, Tendulkar at God mode. They just played out an epic duel, and Tendulkar came out on top, and that's why he is the greatest. Every condition you asked questions from him, he answered.
I mean, we tend to forget, you're talking about Lakshman, that 281 in Kolkata, the day before the test, he was listing.
Yes. He was Dravid had fever.
Yeah. Exactly, Dravid had to be wearing those neckerchiefs.
And it got even worse because they both were dehydrated.
Exactly.
But still, what was it? We want to ensure India.
No, that's not to say, not to say that guys like Rohit and Virat haven't stepped up. They've been in a worse situation. They have. And I think Virat's done this more often, and I think that's why he's got that legendary status.
Yes.
And I think, but that's the reason we have expectations also, right?
Yep.
I'm not saying particular this series. I'm saying this entire series, you had your tail step up or sometime, but your top middle order had been failing. Today was that day. All sins would have been forgiven for previously. Had one of these guys today, got you a half century. That half century would have put you in a decent position to at least fight for a win.
Yes.
But it's not happening. So if fans are disappointed, and again, don't get us wrong. I mean, I'm only talking about these players because we expect so much out of these players.
True.
If they were just young newbies, then you'd say, okay, fine, not experienced. But these guys,
you expect that much.
Yeah. Shantanu Mondal from the USFA.
Yeah.
What's
Sutanu Mondal is like saying, do we have courage to drop Kohli? He's playing because of his name. Also trying to give Ishan Kishan a chance. Bharat is nowhere.
Ishan, no, I disagree.
Okay, so 3 matches, Bharat has shown flashes that he can be better. But yeah, when it has come to a crunch situation, he is flattered to deceive.
But I'm just saying he's dropped a few catches.
Yes,
right?
His reviews have also
Reviews is not helped. And I know that those decisions weren't Bharat's. Those were decisions taken by Jadeja and Ashwin. But a good keeper would say, at least express his opinion.
Yeah.
And he was asked also.
Yes.
But he should just come out and say that, this according to me is not out. That also is a character that you want to see in a wicketkeeper. There should be no senior, junior or any of that sort. I'm saying with Ishan Kishan, could he have done any worse as a keeper? No. Could he have done any worse I don't think so. Maybe Ishan Kishan, the batsman, not had a great time recently. But probably whatever I saw of Bharat, maybe Ishan could have contributed a bit more.
Or wouldn't have been worse.
Exactly. So even Bharat needs to realize, I'm sure that he'll continue. But maybe after this series, you'll review it.
You have to review it. Because
Pant is not coming anytime soon. So you have to look at one. So you may have to review it.
And again, the time for changes has all but run out. Has all but run out.
Yeah, once the WTC final,
had India won this, they would have probably gone for some changes in Ahmedabad. But now I don't think it's going to happen.
No, not a chance. And in fact, now we've lost any chances of seeing a green top in Ahmedabad also.
That won't happen.
That won't happen now.
But by the way, because you're talking about what are the chances, I think Shashi was there asking, how you guys to show that India can qualify for the World Test?
Yes, they can. Mathematically, yes.
They can. Okay, because Shashi Dharan is like,
through, I'm telling you. Yeah. Australia will be as soon as this match is over.
Yes.
And again, even if India lose, they are through.
No.
Because Sri Lanka aren't beating New Zealand 2-0 here.
I know.
Exactly that.
After that Wellington win, I don't see Sri Lanka beating New Zealand.
Even if England had to baseball New Zealand in home, they still would have not lost to the Sri Lanka.
See, Sri Lanka are not playing, have not played a test match for quite a long time now. So yes, that will be the problem.
So simply put, doesn't matter what happens in this series so far. If Sri Lanka cannot beat New Zealand in New Zealand 2-0,
Yeah.
which is a whitewash.
1-0 also wouldn't do.
Yeah, 1-0 no. Because even if India loses 2 tests, they dip to 56.65, the percentage points.
If New Zealand or lose
If
1-0,
Sri Lanka win only 1-0,
55.
55.56.
So
that's it.
They're making it to the final. What happens in the final, though, that really is anyone's
Yeah.
guess at this point.
Only thing is, if Sri Lanka do the unthinkable, win 2-0, and India loses the next one, out. India are out.
Only then.
Only and
Only
only
then.
then. Not happening. It's not
In 2
happening.
words, not happening.
Not happening. Yes.
I think there's as much chance of that happening.
As snowfall in Noida.
No, no, not that much.
Yeah.
As much chance of that happening as India going and winning this test match. Getting Australia out for less than 75. In fact, the chances of that happening
Probably more.
slightly
More. Yes.
Then New Zealand losing 2-0.
2-0. So, I doubt.
Yes. Starting next week, the last test series of this cycle. It is starting.
Nikhil's asking the same thing about Ishan is a good wicket keeper. I don't think he's been bad in white ball cricket. Okay. In red ball cricket, he's played a lot of domestic cricket, so I'm assuming he wouldn't be bad. But I'm saying at the moment, Bharat's also not set the stage on fire. I think dropped a couple of catches, if I'm not mistaken, and his DRS reviews also haven't been good.
Yeah.
So now, a final question before we wrap up, because we also have the dugout coming your way, and that is when we'll discuss everything.
Everything, yes.
At 6:30. Because Choco Squirrel has asked that, and the earlier question also that came was about Virat Kohli. Do we have courage to drop Virat Kohli? But have we reached that end of the rope for Virat Kohli? I mean,
Not until the World Test Championship final.
I'd say not even after that. I don't think you're dropping him.
I was also going to. How is it that assuming Virat, let's say, doesn't get runs here and doesn't get runs in World Test Championship, you'll think of dropping Virat Kohli?
In fact, looking at the fact that they've pretty much discounted the senior pros from T20s, I'd say all the more reason to give him a longer rope in Test cricket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tests and ODIs will be his bread and butter.
I'll tell you why I'm saying that. It's not that he's my long lost cousin that I'm going to be talking in his favor. We've been critical also of every player, and we've appreciated when good performances happen. Why I'm saying that is Virat is just look at it. I think he is, and it wouldn't be unfair to say that he is attained a Sachin Tendulkar kind of status in his generation, in this current generation. Just like Sachin, like there was a Rahul Dravid who was great, there was a VVS Lakshan who was great, but Sachin was Sachin, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at this generation of cricket, there is an outstanding player like Rohit Sharma, right?
Pujara
also. By the way, we'll talk about that in dugout, like Pujara in Australia. Yeah, Australia must be like, like how do you? This guy always between.
You saw Smith's reaction when he took the catch. He was pumped. Why?
Because
it's Pujara.
Yeah, but I think he's that one player that they would be so happy to see the back of. Not this series, but remember how he's
every series
before this. So he's
be
always
it 2010, be it 2013, be it 2018-19, 2020-21. Who's been the key factor? It was been
Pujara.
So he's at a great time. So I'm just saying, but Virat is that level, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So I am saying, just as though Sachin never went through such a lull, I think he did have dip in form, but the dip in form didn't last as long as it has lasted for Virat in Test cricket.
Yes.
Okay, but having said that, I think when you reach that state, the rope that you're offered is pretty long. So I don't see. Anyway, as Shane pointed out, that T20, I think you've kind of looked beyond them. World Cup, of course, he's going to be there, and he's found good form in white ball cricket. So in Test cricket, suddenly you'd want to change everything. I don't see that happening in the immediate future.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe another year, and maybe you should judge batsmen more when you start playing on a bit more neutral pitches, which are also conducive to batting. Right now, if you take a look at it, there is nobody that you can really talk about as a batsman other than Akshar Patel. Yes, Rohit in that one inning was outstanding. But overall, I'm just saying. So it's not that everyone else is like setting the stage on fire and runs are flowing and hundreds and double hundreds are coming and Virat that way.
I think Virat is in that zone when he can choose when he wants to go.
No, No,
Also.
I'm saying that no one is at that level. Okay, maybe the decision has to be taken, but have we arrived at that time when the decision has to be
Definitely
taken? I
not.
don't think so. Also, you know, for you to take that decision, Indian cricket has to go through a very bad phase. Right now, you are talking about playing a World Test Championship final. I'm talking about a situation where India are not even in the running to be in the final.
yeah.
And
Say
they've
not
had
even
a
in the top
few
four.
home
Yeah.
losses, and that's when you say, or like, you know, the stage that happened, you had 4-zip, England, Australia back to back. That was the low phase. That's when you try to reinvent yourself, change the team. So I don't think you're in that space. Overall, we may be, you know, criticizing whether it's the pitch or some performance. Overall, if you look at the health of Indian Test cricket, hello, you are going to be playing the World Test Championship final. That means you're amongst the two best teams in the world, and this is the second time consecutively you're playing that.
True.
So there isn't much to worry about. So I don't, with all of this put together, I don't think you've reached the end of the rope for Virat Kohli. So that discussion is not going to happen now. Here down the line, some disastrous test scores and coinciding with his poor form. Maybe you look at it then, but not anytime.
See, because after this, in 2023, you played 2 series. One in the West Indies and the final frontier, South Africa. Maybe that could be your tipping point, 2024 onwards.
Maybe. The team does rather poorly, and if he's not getting runs, maybe you look at it.
Yep.
Not anytime soon. What is Arco?
You can't have small venues hosting test versus all
See,
things.
I don't necessarily disagree with his point, but the venue doesn't
Arco
matter.
has been on it for the last 2 days.
Quite clearly a Bengali who wants a test match in Eden Gardens. I understand. I would love that. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, see, Eden Gardens has not had a reputation of producing a bad pitch.
Ever.
That's the thing. So, they are shortchanged.
Some of these grounds also did not produce bad pitches all the time.
Yeah.
It's just happening now. We know.
You're asking for them. So if you were playing like this in Eden Gardens, you think it would have been completely different?
You would have seen the same kind of pitch which you saw in the peak KKR days. Whoa, spinning pitches.
Yeah.
Spinning pitches, yes.
You'd see that pitch, wouldn't it?
You can just make them. So again, just can happen.
It
Nagpur was notorious at one point for making a completely different pitch, which was like assisting fast bowlers.
Exactly.
But you made the one that you wanted. No?
It's had all extremes. One team scored about 800 in Nagpur also.
Yeah, Nagpur has seen it all,
You
really.
can make it. You can make it. So that's that on that, Arco. But thank you so much, guys, for your company. Plenty to talk about. We wanted to talk about for the dugout. I think we'll talk about things that we missed out talking about here. Steve Smith's captaincy, his catch. I think those are the things that we can look to talk about in the dugout. The tactics used by which we briefly mentioned about Alex Carey, how he's been doing that. So that's another important point we'll discuss. But that's all going to come your way at
in about an hour's time,
6:30 p.m. on the dugout. We'll have plenty more people joining us. So for that,
join us and
see ya, bye bye.
Subscribe, wanna come.